Seeds preparing.
There we go.
Yay!
Hey.
It's official. Hi, Erica.
Hi.
Oh, guys, I'm Natalie Diaz from Twiniversity, and now we are very, very lucky to have. Oh my God! And then that's what happens is when it starts playing. I don't know why it does that. Okay, good. It's muted. That's what I was trying to avoid. Apparently, it did not work out. Erica is one of our new expecting moms, and we're going to get the scoop. And just like Kylie's had her babies and Alex had her babies, we got to go back to the beginning. Not that we're leaving Kylie and Alex, by the way. So, Erica, we cannot replace people. They're irreplaceable. But we know that people have the most questions during their pregnancy, and what better way to kind of help people and make them feel normal and wrap their head around things like you just said, than having like a real chat with somebody that's expecting. So here's what we want to know. We want to literally know like everything, how many weeks you are, where you live, what's going on. Give us the truth behind it. So like the behind the music story.
I will do my best.
Okay.
Because I don't know, I guess I don't think we're all that exciting, but my name is Erica. I am 35. So I'm on the older end of the spectrum, I guess, according to my OB. I'm a second-time mom. My oldest daughter is 6, so we waited a while. And yeah, so we were kind of trying for another one being the key word there. So we went into the doctor. We found out I was pregnant right after we had evacuated for Hurricane Irma. So the day we got back, I took a pregnancy test and it like lit up immediately. So I was like, oh, I must be really pregnant. So we got to the doctor's office and they pulled us in for that first ultrasound and they're like, do you see it? And I'm like, kind of looking. My husband's looking. We're like, sure, it's a baby, right? There's something on the screen. Then she's like, no, there are 2 babies. And I'm like, nope, didn't see that. Did not see that. And I was like, are you sure? She's like, yeah, we're sure. And my husband's bawling. Apparently my blood pressure's shooting up because I had to stay an hour afterwards because it was so high. They wouldn't let me leave. She's like, do twins run in your family? And I'm like, does it look like twins run in our family? By the look on our faces, no, this is not what we were expecting. And then she's like, well, you know, it's really common the older you are to be more susceptible to having twins. So it's like, yes, it's good to know.
Yeah, you almost wish somebody would have told you that ahead of time. It's funny because when you meet somebody, right? So you're considered advanced maternal age. That's what they call you.
Yes.
Isn't that nice? Isn't that lovely? I love that. That's one of you know that saying was like created by some man someplace creating a term that would be like, we'll just call it advanced maternal age. But yeah, as soon as you hit, I think it's really about 32. After 32, as you get older, your chances of having twins are higher and higher. So here in New York, a lot of people just automatically assume that people had IVF or whatnot. But if you weren't planning on having kids and you were just waiting until the right time and you're like, okay, let's try now. If you don't know that you have a higher incidence of twinning, then it comes as a surprise. I think it's a good surprise. How are you like on the shock level? How are you now?
We are like super excited. Both of our families are super excited. Of course, it's the first set of twins. Now my husband, he's one of 6.
Okay.
So this will be number 16 and 17 for grandkids. Yeah. So my other side, it's a little bit smaller. So my mom's super through the roof that she gets not 1, but 2. My daughter's super excited because we do know the sex. I found out when I shouldn't have found out, and well, yay.
So what are we having? Do you want to tell us?
Yes, we're 100% having a boy, according to the picture. No denying that picture. The girl, they could only tell me 85% because it was so early.
All right.
They said it was so early that she's like, I'm pretty certain it's a girl, but you're still really early, so I can't say with that full certainty. So it's a boy and a girl. We're excited. She gets a baby sister. My husband gets a son, and all is right with the world.
Oh my gosh. So how many weeks are you today?
Well, I'm technically 16 weeks, but we've been calling them thing 1 and thing 2 because we need something to call them.
Yes. That's
So
what
thing 1, the little girl, she's about 16 weeks and 4 days, where thing 2, the little boy, of course, is the chunky monkey and is measuring at 17 weeks. So he's measuring about a week ahead.
All right, that's not bad. That's pretty good. Well, you got to remember, they're 2 different babies with the same birthday. That's what they are. Fraternal twins. That's all you got. So
they're die twins, is what we were told. So that they said that's the least complicated to have. So I was like, okay.
Yeah.
So
hopefully it'll be smooth sailing, is what I hope. Now, did you have an easy pregnancy with your daughter?
Until the very end. I got preeclampsia and they did an emergency C-section. So it was smooth sailing. So far, everything's, I guess, gone well. There haven't been any complications. Learning that you see like twice the amount of doctors that you normally see.
Absolutely.
You get lots and lots of ultrasound pictures. So I'm sure we'll have like a photo album of in utero photos.
Make sure you're marking them accordingly so you know who's who. That's always important.
Yes.
Random baby A, maybe, we don't even know. Now, how many weeks did you deliver your daughter?
38.
Oh, 38. So you went the distance with that.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. And I know some people hated like the idea of C-sections. They, want to have the babies naturally. My C-section was the best thing ever. Good. It was 15 minutes. I had no complications. They pulled my daughter out, sang happy birthday to her, and we were done. So it was a really, I'm not concerned about having another one at all. So
are you delivering in the same hospital?
No. My daughter was born in Nebraska.
Yes.
So we actually have to drive downtown now. So we have to drive about 30 minutes to the hospital where we're going to have the twins, because it's the only hospital with a NICU as far as I know.
Okay.
So we wanted me to deliver where there was a NICU close by. So.
All right. This is really, really, really crazy. How did you find us?
So I actually took care of, I worked at a preschool for the past 2 years, and I had a set of twins. And I was talking to the mom, and she's like, really get out there on Facebook and look and find groups and, really do your research on the internet, because they were unexpectedly twin parents too. So I was like, okay. And so like literally I typed it in Google, and the website was the first thing to pop up. And I was like, yay!
We're good with Google, man. Yeah.
There's stuff, there's something to follow. There's something that's going to help me understand just a little bit.
We got you covered. Look how great this is. Like now we get to really play, and you have like the big cheese to walk you through this whole thing. So I joke a lot, but honestly, my kids are going to be 13 next week. So I'm super out of the woods, and now they are just servants in my house. I didn't ever realize that I was going to get to this point, but yeah, it definitely gets better. But the interesting thing is with like starting this business and starting this website and stuff, I talk about my pregnancy every single month. So where some people will be like, yeah, I kind of remember, like, no, I remember vividly exactly how I was prepping. So when I found out, I started researching around 9 weeks. So around 9 weeks, I was like really hunting down. Did you find out if there's a local twin club in your area?
There is. Well, kind of, because we live in Jack's Beach. Again, we live about 30 minutes from the city. There's one in the city. There's a big one in the city, which I plan to get connected with when things kind of settle down just a little bit more here. Because that was also, she's the mom I talked to, Amy, I call her my Yoda, since she's got 2 twin boys. And they're just amazing kids that, she's like, that's something you want to do. You want to connect with other twin moms, and, they're going to be your best source of advice.
They really are. They're also your best source of goodies, because with the local twin club, they often have like consignment sales or swaps and stuff like that. So you could go get a lot of the things that people don't use anymore, like cribs and strollers and stuff. So do you have anything saved from your daughter?
No, it's been, 6 years and 6 moves. So we have nothing saved. So it's like we're literally starting at square one. Of course, I've went out and bought clothes already because I was super excited. Because why not? And but no, we're starting for square one. And, you know, I've done a lot of reading, just trying to find out, like, what do twin moms say you need 2 of, and what do they say you can get by with 1 of? Like, that's huge to me, you know, because you don't want to double up something where you don't need to. Because, you know, we live in a little 3-bedroom house right now, so we don't have a ton of room.
At least you have the 3 bedrooms on the bright side.
Yes.
You definitely should have enough room. And we have a registry list. Julie, if you could link that, but we actually created something specifically for that reason, and be like, how many do I need of this? Because I remember when I was expecting, and I know so many people do, there's so much money that you waste on things you really don't need 2 of.
Yeah.
It's like just, you know, like 2 breastfeeding pillows. Clearly you do not need 2, but sometimes people are just like, well, I just having twins, I have to do everything now. You certainly do not. But like potties, you got to have 2, like things like that. We need 2 high chairs. But like the swing, for example, like you really don't need 2 swings. You could get away with 1 swing, but 2 bouncy seats.
Yeah, that's what Amy told me to do. She said that's what they did. It worked out well, you know, because they were able to kind of alternate. The other thing that she said that really saved her is they have the carrier that was like her, because they go hiking. So like, their twins were less than a year old, and they went hiking through Utah with both of them. So like,
that's good. So yes, if you have to go hiking, they sell, you know, the twin guru, the double carrier, so you can randomly wear your babies. It is a lot of baby, but you really have to wait till everybody has good neck stability. But yes, I always felt that I was like a walking sideshow when the 2 babies, because that's a lot of humans in one little space if you really think about it. So now, like, the question I have for you, like my biggest question is, like, what are the topics that are keeping you up tonight? Like when you're starting to get stressed about things, like what are the things that are stressing you out?
Well, just immediately because I'm pregnant, and because you throw the word multiple in, and that just is a whole new ball game. Is like every symptom goes through a different strainer than the first time I had it with my daughter. Like I've had morning sickness well into the 2nd trimester, which I didn't. I'm taking a different medicine for it.
Okay.
It feels like, not to be like totally TMI, but like the gas and indigestion with these 2 babies is like 24/7 nonstop. Like if I'm in a store, I feel like I have to go hide in a corner so I can burp or something, because it doesn't
Everything's
go away.
coming out. It is though. That's very normal. That's not unusual by any means. I'm sorry that nobody told you that, but yeah, we're big. I don't know if you look at Twiniversity, we're huge fans of TMI. Like, I mean, like it's like one of the pillars of our twin parenting foundation. It's like nothing good. I mean, on Tuesday we're going to have a whole discussion about sneezing and a little comes out. Like I'm ready for it. Yes. We're all right there. Oh my God, I can't even imagine being. That's a lot of babies in there. So right now you're super gassy. That's what I'm going to call you, super gassy Erica. But there's nothing you could do about it. Did you notice that if you change your diet, or actually, did you look to see if maybe it's a side effect of the medication for the morning sickness?
It is a side effect of the medication for the morning sickness. I'm also lactose intolerant, which the other thing that everybody's telling me that all these twin moms have come out of the woodwork now too. Like, oh, I'm a twin mom. Oh, I'm a twin. Is that you need tons of protein. Like everybody says protein. And so, you know, a good place to get it is through like cheese. Well, I love cheese, but cheese doesn't necessarily love me. So it just, I found that my lactose intolerance, whereas when I was pregnant with my daughter, it didn't bother me at all. It seems like 10 times worse now.
Okay.
During this pregnancy. So, so it's a balance of you need to get this, but you have to kind of find a different way to get it.
Well, what are you eating?
Huh?
What are you able to eat?
I mean, I can do cheese in small amounts.
Okay.
I can't really do regular milk. I have to do like soy or coconut milk.
But eggs are okay, and
eggs are fine. I live off eggs right now, and beans. Unfortunately, because they're just a really good source of protein.
Absolutely.
And fiber. So that deals with other problems. that haven't risen. So.
All right. So you're still eating. So everything's okay. The babies aren't interfering with your digestion too much. It's really, I heard that the medication does that. So
Yes.
there's a few of them, and it doesn't seem that there's any one medication that seems to be more perfect than others. So
no,
it's
I mean, I was on Zofran the first time around, and that will constipate you, like within a blink of an eye. But this time I'm on Diclegis, which isn't really, it's just like, you know, a vitamin and Unisom, but because it's a lot of that vitamin, it's enough to mess with things, I guess, is the way I read it.
Okay. You know, we're getting some really fun comments, actually. I'm like, I can see them at the bottom. And there's so many people that are like, hey, listen, like nectar powder in a fruit and veggie shake every morning is a great way to start. And if you're really in a desperate need, add a little vanilla ice cream to help with the taste. So maybe even if your lactoseness is getting you, but that certainly also the fruit and veggie shake could help with the constipation if you want that.
I've been trying to really up the fruit and veggie intake too, especially with like salads and just fresh fruit, just because there's all around good things and hopefully keeps everything moving.
Well, I always say that, like in Twiniversity, we talk about like the biggest pregnancy concerns, right? So the first one that we talk about is fatigue. And everybody's like, that's crazy. Like, why are we talking about this? Everybody pregnant is tired. But Erica, I'm going to ask you a very serious question. Do you consider yourself a type A person?
Somewhat. I probably, everybody would say I'm type A. I don't know if I'm necessarily type A.
Well, I'm going to go with if everybody is saying.
I try to, like, I don't think I'm that type A, but yeah, I guess I am. I'm like, I like things in a certain place. Yeah, that kind of.
Well, I'm going to say from your instant hesitation, I would immediately say you were, because you had to think about it enough to be like, am I that controlling? Like, what do I want to say? I also think that people who are Googling twin stuff before their like 20th week, I feel like we have to, but I don't think it's a bad thing, for the record. And I am super like level 37 type A. I'm also curious for the people that are watching us now, how many of them consider themselves type A people. But why I always bring up the fatigue is because people like us, and I'm including you in this now, no matter what, but people like us, like if we have 26 things to do, we're going to do 29. Right. So when it comes to fatigue, and I'm like, hey, everybody's tired. Everybody's like, yeah, we're tired. But we've had issues with families at Twiniversity that have fallen asleep in the back of taxis. Thank God they weren't driving, or even passed out from fatigue.
Oh my
So
goodness.
it's one of those things that you really have to take seriously. And even though it's like a pregnancy concern, as I do my air quotes, it's a big issue, especially with type A people, because we keep pushing it. We push it, we push it, we push it. And then you're like, crap, I'm going to fall on the ground. So yeah, what I tell all of our students is that instead of looking at it as something that your body's telling you to do, add it to your to-do list. Make rest a part of every day. Even if you really don't even feel tired, your body, like you're growing two humans, like don't lose sight of that. And I cannot possibly tell you the amount of people that will continue to push until they literally pass out. Plus, with your daughter, you don't want to like have no fuel left in your tank by the time she gets home from school.
No.
So would it be a possibility to try to really add to your to-do list? Or I know it's like, is it a possibility? Nobody would say yes, but do you think that it's something you could do if I was telling you that it would make a giant difference in your pregnancy?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. My husband laughs because my list is always like 50 things long. But yeah, you know, he's always encouraging me, hey, did you rest today? Because yeah, I do push it sometimes. So yeah, I think that worries me, some of the stories you said, because I can kind of see myself in that position. So yeah, no.
No, it's good. Like I talk about it because nobody could see themselves in that position until they're in that position. And everybody always says, oh, that won't happen to me. But I think when in a situation like ours, where like I deal primarily with expectant parents, and there's not many, like, I don't think that there's any other human, like truthfully, in the world that's been exposed to this many parents of twins, like expectant parents of twins, than me. So when I see like, you know, the poop hit the fan, I'm like, there's no way, like we have to add this to class. But it's like fatigue, like just resting. It's something so simple, and you would think like, oh, it's intuitive, and we'll know when we have to rest, but we don't. We don't know when to rest. We keep going. There's always something.
Yes.
So yeah, I gotta tell you, we gotta slow down. But it's not only while you're pregnant. It's truthfully just like a parenting thing too. Since your daughter was born, you've probably been going pedal to the metal full time.
Yes.
You know, and if you, I don't know, are you working part time or full time, or what's your outside of the house status?
So this is the first time I've ever been a stay-at-home mom. Usually I've been working full time or almost full time. I did, you know, when I was pregnant with my daughter, I worked full time till I had her, and then I had 2 weeks maternity leave and was back to work.
Okay.
So, you know, it just so happened I hadn't found a job yet when we found out I was pregnant, and my symptoms went from I wasn't having a ton to like just really bad really quickly, that I'm really glad I'm not working, because I'm not sure I could do a job efficiently with the nausea and then the exhaustion too. So
the worst. Yeah, no, that's definitely, so you are in a good position to kind of make this your job. It is, you now actually have a full-time job. It's called Growing Humans. And that's how you knew you can put that on your resume so you have no gaps, right?
Okay, thank you.
You decide to go back to work. So you were Growing Humans as your job from 16 weeks ago through the end of your pregnancy. But yeah, it's really important. So that's kind of the one thing that I would say to start. If you implement it early in your pregnancy, it really becomes like a ritual and habit throughout your pregnancy. Okay. It's when you get into your 30th week to try to slow down. You're already so like, I made it this far. Why does it matter? But I'm not saying that you're going to make it further in your pregnancy, but I am saying that if you didn't make it further in your pregnancy, if you know that you pushed it the entire time, there's going to be a little bit of guilt that you're going to have about things you could have done differently.
Yeah, that's a worry, I think, too. I think that's probably like the second big worry is just knowing there's like, in, I don't know, about 2 or 3 weeks, my perinatologist will be measuring my cervix for the preterm labor stuff. So that's probably like my second big worry is the preterm labor, because that's something they throw out, not just because I'm having multiples, but because I'm my age. So yeah, I mean, like anything I can do to make this go as long as it needs to go is what I'm looking for, that information, and looking what are some steps I can take.
Well, I'm going to tell you true, just to be very honest with you, and I do believe it, but because you had preeclampsia the first time, you have to actually rest more than the average bear. So preeclampsia is like, and parents of twins have a higher incidence of preeclampsia anyway. So because you already have a proven track record that this is a concern for you, you really have to take it easy. Now, truthfully, is there really anything that you could like do about it? Honestly, not much. It's really going to be just the roll of the dice. So you can't like panic and be like, oh my God, I didn't, do push-ups today or something. Like if there was one thing that somebody could do to prevent it, then they would. And did you know, like, this is something that always fascinates me. So I also had preeclampsia. So I'm in the wonderful preeclampsia club, which I think that there should be a separate university section just for us. But there is a cornerstone, a literal like cement block at the Mayo Clinic that is waiting to be dedicated to the person who discovers a cure for preeclampsia.
I totally agree.
So from hundreds of years when the Mayo Clinic was built, then now they're like still waiting, because it's always been an issue. And it's one of the only pregnancy topics that has never stopped research. So like they've never gotten to a point. So it's what it is. Do you know if your mom had preeclampsia?
No, she didn't have preeclampsia. She had other issues with both me and my brother, along with several miscarriages. I was born 6 weeks early, but she never had preeclampsia. No. Okay.
We have one of the moms on that's joining us right now. She said that her OB told her to take a low dose aspirin. So you're doing that already?
The baby aspirin, yep, once a day.
Are you doing the adult ones or the delicious ones? Because they have like the orange flavored ones, the boring yellow ones that my husband takes, but they do have orange flavor that I took when I was pregnant, and I was like, why isn't everybody taking these delicious aspirin? I loved
I'm
it.
just taking the boring ones. Although I do have the chewy Mentos flavored Tums that they're having me take too. So I'll put a plug in for those. If your
That's it.
doctor tells you to take Tums, get the
That's
chewy Mentos, the fruity Mentos flavored ones that, yeah.
Oh my God. This Erica just now was saying that she didn't know that there was tasty little ones. But yes, there are tasty little ones that you could get. Now, another thing that I was just thinking about your reflux, right? So it's your reflux and your heartburn. There are a few things that you could do besides the Tums. Like I wouldn't stop doing the Tums if you're obviously never take my advice over your doctors. But like if you eat almonds, bye babe, love you. If you eat a handful of almonds before you go to bed, and also, if you have some dried pineapple, like make like a little mix of almonds and pineapple, but they have to be raw almonds. That's it. So if you take raw almonds and dried pineapple and you make like a little mixture, there's an enzyme in both of those things that neutralize protein. So they help you digest faster. So if the stuff is staying, like all the protein that you're eating, right? If it stays in your belly less of a time, you have less of an incidence of having heartburn and indigestion.
Okay.
And worst comes to worst, all you freaking did was eat almonds and pineapple.
I can do that.
That's the easy one. So that's one of the tips here. And that was given to me by a nutritionist here in New York. Another tip was apple cider vinegar is really, 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 really effective. And this is not just for pregnancy. This is actually for like anybody, any age. This is for the dads in the group too. But I don't know like the chemical science behind it. And I probably should because I talk about it so much. But you know, like you ever wake up in the middle of the night and you have like that crazy burn? Like it comes up, oh, this is disgusting. And you're like choking on it. If you do a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar, it counteracts that acid and it like you have no more burn. Like, so if you're like, I want to go back to sleep. I remember that I could not go back to sleep because my throat was burning. So now forget about everything coming up. I'm like choking on the burningness of my throat, but that's anybody with reflux. Like reflux, that's just a refluxy kind of thing. But apple cider vinegar is insanely effective. Now, this is like what like the new like kids are doing these days because they're finding all the uses for apple cider vinegar. But my grandmother, who God rest her soul, man, 156 years old now. But like as a little girl, she was like the old Italian grandmother that'd be like, take this spoonful of stuff. She would like if we would eat like, you know, pizza too late at night or something like that on like a summer night. And like, it'd be like, oh, I don't remember what I called it. We had a name for it when I was a little girl, but that's what it was. And so she would like shove apple cider vinegar in our faces and it worked. And so of course, as a little girl, I thought that this was like some miracle that my nanny had created. I didn't know that like anybody in the world had access to it. And then as an adult, somebody told me to take it, but I'm going to say through my teen years and my early adulthood, I never needed it. But then once I got pregnant, then I took this and I didn't know it was apple cider vinegar. So I tasted it. I'm like, wait a second. Like this whole time I could have had this and I did not know. So yeah, so that's just like old school, old Italian grandma trick is the apple cider vinegar. Now everybody knows about it. But once upon a time, only my nanny knew about it. So that's something that you could do too. And as far as other things that are like really important to start doing now is you really got to drink your water. Right. You should be like, if you can, you know, fathom good. I like this. If you could manage close to a gallon a day, I know it's a lot, especially because you should probably drink it before 7 p.m. so you're not peeing, you know, every 20 minutes as the night goes on. The pee is crazy. It just, you can't stop, man. That's what happens. The baby, if you think about it, your bladder is really small to begin with, right? And so then we load it up with this water and then you have the humans that are dancing on it. It's not a joyous occasion. I love that. I love when people are like, pregnancy is so beautiful and it's so great. I'm like, who's pregnant? Who's this? Like, who are we talking about?
Like, did you not have to get up like 4 times in the night just to go pee? Like, or like I felt last night that they were having a rave inside my tummy on my bladder and using it in some type of trampoline event. Like it was just, I'm like, I've probably used like, we buy the Costco things of toilet paper. We've gone through like because I have to go pee so much.
That's it. You have no choice. I always thought that. And I envy people. Do you have a bathroom in your bedroom? Do you have like one of those master bedrooms? See, me neither. But when I went someplace, I'm like, people who have this, like, that's like such a decadent thing.
Yes.
It's like, oh, that's so fancy. My bathroom and my bedroom are on opposite sides of the apartment. So it's like a walk. Like, for me to get up to pee in the middle of the night, I'd really have to go because it's like a walk. I'd have to really make it there. I hate peeing in the middle of the night. I do not miss that by any means. It doesn't really get better though. I have to, like, after the babies are born, then your pelvic floor is a little weakish. So you're going to get up and pee anyway. Yeah. That's what's going to happen. But you really should try to aim for that gallon of water a day, as close to it as possible. And then the other thing is like we already talked about, is the food is so important. Really, really, really important. But like, are you taking Benefiber or anything like that?
I've just started with Benefiber in the mornings as kind of the recommendation. That alone, just probably that and whatever fibers in the prenatal.
Yeah.
Uber vitamins I take at night.
Well, so you're taking them at night. That's interesting.
Well, I found out through my OB, I was having problems. Like, it was making me sick, my prenatal vitamin, when I took it with my daughter. And he said, take it at night. And ever since I started taking it at night, I haven't had any problems with it. I have no nausea, no nothing with it. It's easy to, it doesn't. So I recommend, if your prenatal vitamin is making you sick, try taking it at night. Huge lifesaver.
That's fantastic. But besides the Benefiber, you really do have to focus on eating some whole foods, not from Whole Foods, but whole foods in general. Because even with the Benefiber, if there's nothing that goes from point A to point B, you could have all the Benefiber in your system in the world, but nothing's coming out. So you really, and it's like I joke about it all the time, but it's like fatigue. And then the next thing is, that's my dog mooing if you hear her. I don't know why she's making so much noise today. But hemorrhoids are a huge issue for us. Oh yeah. So it's a pregnancy thing anyway. And then you have the twin pregnancy thing. Then you have the constipation and the food. It's like a triple whammy. So you got to do that. There should always be like a bag of baby carrots in arm's reach. They should be littered all over the house, everywhere. Because they're not the most disgusting thing. And I know some people hate carrots, but if you get like a good batch of the baby carrots, they're already like pre-washed. You just got to open them up, eat them right out of the bag, no preparation needed. But that's such good roughage that it grabs anything on the way out. So, and if you can, like maybe hummus, like I love some hummus or even a yogurt dip, if you could swing it. What if you did like a black bean dip? You said you like beans.
Yeah, I can do that. I could do a black bean dip. Yeah.
So just throw the black beans like raw in the can, right? Not raw, but in the can. If you put them in like a little blender with just some garlic and olive oil, you got a black bean dip. Boom, done. And that'll stay forever because there's nothing in it. So you could keep that batch in your fridge, but like dip it up, like make 9,000 dips. And what I always think of like pregnant women eating the same way that you would feed a toddler, because like you should give them like an array of foods to see what they want to eat. Because even if you like something previous to being pregnant, that doesn't mean you're not going to have some weird food aversion during your pregnancy.
No, yeah. Like I like every other month it's either chicken or beef, but never the same in that month. Like it goes back and forth. It's driving my husband crazy.
Oh, I can't even imagine. And they don't know. And we really want them to help us, but they can't because we don't know how to help us.
No.
What are you barking at, Betty? What do you want from my life? She's not been a good dog today. She went dumpster diving today. Betty, yeah, she went in my whole garbage. Like it looked like there was some kind of like raccoon hate crime in my kitchen. When I came home, that's what we call it. One time my dad, I don't really know how the story is, but I live in the same building as my parents. So my parents live downstairs. And my father puts his garbage in front of his apartment door every night. And then when he goes down to buy the newspaper in the morning, he takes his garbage down. And one morning he got up and the garbage was everywhere. But like, we're in a closed apartment building, but like, what could have possibly got to this garbage? So of course, instant New Yorker, we're like, oh my God, there's a rat in the apartment, like whatever. But it was like too much. It was too much for a rat. Like a rat would just make a little hole and go in the bag. So my father said, that's where the saying came from. But my father's like, it wasn't a normal situation. It looked almost like a hate crime. And we're like, Dad, like, who hates you? And like, what are they going to do? They're going to like come and be like, we're going to throw Eddie's garbage everywhere. We're going to open this bag. So that was what he said. And to this day, I can't even handle it. So every time the dog eats through the garbage, I'm like, my husband just said, he's like, did you see Betty's hate crime this morning? I'm like, well, if you did, why'd you just walk over it? Like he walked, he's like, I thought you were home. I'm like, where was I? So that was Betty's hate crime this morning. The long story is it was a cat that was in the building. A cat was getting in from the backyard, and he was living here to keep warm in the evening, and then he would leave during the day. So we never saw him, and he wasn't pooping anywhere. He was pooping outside. But we apparently had a pet cat that we were not aware of. That was my weird off-topic story. I'll always have one. But that was the crazy hate crime. How I even got on that, I don't even know. Oh, the moaning. Hi, that's what it is. So I haven't been talking to her all day. She's been shunned. This dog. Oh, my gosh. Now, do you have any pets?
No, we aren't allowed to have pets because we're technically renting this house. And so yeah, no pets, but we've promised my daughter a cat when my husband officially finishes graduate school.
Okay. So you got some
we'll
time.
See.
All right. That's good. So, all right. So to kind of recap, like you got to make sure that you're eating and drinking your water, and resting was my paramount thing of the day to make you rest. And you have absolutely no excuse. I don't want to hear it. The next time you talk, you'll be like, Matt, I've been resting for at least 25 minutes a day. You could watch an entire episode of Last Man on Earth. That's my new show that I'm addicted to. Start at the beginning. It's only about 21 minutes with no commercials. That's your break, and then you could go resume your daily business. That would be my twin mom prescription, is that you have to watch a Netflix series.
Okay, I can do that.
That would be it. But yeah, it really is rest. And so instead of just laying there vegging out, might as well laugh a little bit. And that show gives me one laugh at least per show, which usually I don't laugh. Usually I'm like, yeah, it's funny. But that show makes me like, ha! That and Impractical Jokers. Do you ever watch that show? Oh, man, that's horrible. You may not want to watch that. But if you do, it's four lifelong friends that are all adults. And they basically like set each other up into weird situations. But they're not like dangerous. It's not like where they're hurting each other. But they're always hysterical and so embarrassing. But not embarrassing like I don't know. It's a funny embarrassing, like what I would do to my friends. And it'll be like, tell that, old lady that she looks hot or whatever. And for some reason, this just makes me laugh until milk shoots out my nose. That kind of laughter. So yeah, so anything else that's keeping you up? Because I feel bad that I'm keeping you so long. I'm just so excited to meet you.
No, yeah, I guess then, of course, when you have twins, when they're actually here and present and accounted for, like the whole idea of breastfeeding my daughter was like a struggle.
Okay.
Like, so one baby, but two, that's kind of like, I don't know, Mr. Worrisome is daunting. Okay. And then, of course, my daughter didn't sleep the night through till she was 2 years old. Okay. So having possibly two babies who don't sleep through the night till they're 2 years old. And that just makes me nervous.
That is understandable. Yes. Well, good news. They're three separate humans. So just because your daughter did something does not mean that it's ever going to repeat itself. So don't plan on the worst thing happening. Mm-hmm. The good thing about twins is that, not saying that they sleep sooner, but that aspect of being comforted, they could always be comforted by one another, which is something that your daughter would not have had the opportunity to have. Right. They're always going to have kind of this other little best friend that's right next to them. And there are families who find that simply because they are like co-bedding their twins, that their kids do sleep better. Not co-bed with you and the twins, like no family bed. I'm not
Right.
family beds, dangers involved, but like them sleeping independently in their own crib, or, you know, they have now this dual bassinet that Halo makes. So there's like options for them to sleep safely next to each other. So that's something that you could have. But yeah, like I would not really worry too much. And as far as the breastfeeding goes, that, as crazy as this sounds, you play it by ear. You play it by ear because maybe the 6 years that have passed made your boobs more receptive to children. Who knows?
I hope.
Maybe in the 6 years you've gained more patience and you have less anxiety. So there are actually really good things that come with slight maternal maturity, as they say. And we do have, even though you may have more fear of the ultimate outcome, life gives you a lot more experience that help you keep things in perspective. Okay. And so now, instead of just thinking I have to breastfeed these kids, yeah, sure, you could totally breastfeed the kids, or you don't have to, right? Girls, it's fine. Yes. Or you can exclusively pump. Right. Or you could do this, you know, hybrid feeding of formula and breast milk, and you just do it at your leisure and whatever's best for you. But there is no right thing to do here. And this is why La Leche hates me with a passion, and why I don't have hate crimes outside my front door. But when it comes to twin parenting, you should never expect that this is the way it's going to be, right? Because you have all these friends and these family members who are like, oh, I'm sitting here and I'm going to breastfeed my one baby over this beautiful thing. Yeah, that's not reality for us. We have a lot of kids. We only got these 2 boobs. What are we going to do? But you can. Like, the hybrid feeding is a really nice option and really takes the stress off. So you breastfeed when you feel like it, and you formula feed when you feel like it. And that's really all that there is to that. And if people had more permission, like, right, I almost feel like, you know, we shouldn't need permission to do these things. Like, by now we should be like, we're tough chicks. We know what we're doing. But when it comes to parenthood, there's always like this guilt, like, oh my God, I have to do it this way. No, F them. There is no right way to do it. You do it the way that works for you. And you will, I am so low stress, because during my own pregnancy and through the first year, I had so much stress because I was living in the shadow of all of these women that were just like super moms to me. But now in hindsight, I was a freaking super mom. I just didn't know it. So whatever it takes to get us from Tuesday to Wednesday, that's what happens. There is no, this is what we're doing. I can't take it. When you make things so rigid, the only thing you could really do is fail. Right. So don't even think about it. And the sleep, sure, they may not sleep for 9 years. But you made it through. You made it through the first time. And think of all the, you know, hallucinations you might have had during the sleep deprivation period. You can make those into a children's book someday. Like,
well, I'm a type A. Look at all the stuff I could possibly accomplish, you know, write the great American novel while I'm up trying to figure out whether I'm going to breastfeed. Now we don't
actually even have to write it. You could just speak it into She Who Must Not Be Named. You know what I'm talking about in my house? Alexa, I can't She didn't hear me. Okay, but you could just literally speak it into her. So we could write the great American novel by, at the same time that we're tandemly bottle feeding, tandemly breastfeeding. There's so much that we could do. But yeah, you just got to make it till 5 a.m. every day. That's the only thing you got to do. And maybe brush your teeth. Like, brushing your teeth, I think, is an important thing. Oh, and by the way, for everybody that's watching, this is not a new tattoo. They were asking me about it this morning. This is a fake tattoo that I can't get off. It's been on for over a week. So I went to Hawaii. It was a weird thing. It was like, I feel guilty like that I did something great. But I went to Hawaii to go see the premiere of this movie Jumanji that's coming out.
Right.
This what's happening behind me, by the way. So in the movie, it's not it's not a second part to the original movie. It's actually a totally new remake. So where the original Jumanji was a board game, this Jumanji is a video game. So in the video game, the characters had lives. And this is how you knew how many lives you had left. So every character had like a tattoo on them. And so then you start out with 3 lives, and then you lose a bar every time you lose a life. So I was trying to like be in the spirit of Jumanji, and I'm like, I'll put on that fake tattoo. Little did I know I was being branded for life. I had no idea. So yeah, so that's coming out soon too. I'll write an article about that. But don't let things stress you out like that, because that honestly, it really is out of your control. The things that should be stressing you out is, did I rest enough? Did I eat enough? And did I drink my water? And am I staying connected to my husband and my child? That's your priority. That's literally it. I don't care if you eat Chinese food for the next 7 months, if you never clean a bathroom. Your priority is taking care of you and the other 2 humans that are really living in your home. Everything else will fall into place. I sincerely mean that. Like, I promise you it'll fall into place, and there's no need to worry about that. Usually people worry about delivery, but you're one up on everybody else with that. You're like, yeah, whatever. C-sections were great. Do it up. Epidural, good night. Like, that's it.
Like, so it might take 30 minutes this time, 15 minutes each. I'm okay with that.
It's fine. We got nothing else to do. That's it. You're going to relax. And yeah, and as we have these, if you want to keep talking to me, we'll talk about like how to prep for delivery day, how to prepare your daughter for the birth of your twins, how to get her involved. We could talk about space planning with your home. If you want to take us into your room, a room layout. We could talk about different furniture that's available if you have a smaller space. So we got a lot of things that we could cover. And then I would also be honored if you would join us for a Twiniversity class as my guest in January.
Oh, yeah.
So I would love that. So Julie will email you all the information to sign up. And then if you guys want to join Erica too, Julie will put the link for our online classes. But that's where we kind of organize everything in one neat package. And then we could touch back on it as your pregnancy progresses. But regardless, I don't go anywhere. So do you see this dog who's shoving Santas at me? She's got to be a part of everything. Oh my God, Betty Lou. Yes, I don't go anywhere. So even if you do end up having questions, or maybe you go to a doctor's visit and the doctor said something that you're confused about or concerned about, like, you got me. So you don't have to worry.
Okay. Awesome.
Right? I will be your secret twin mom sister if you'll have me. I would be honored to. And do you have a copy of our book too?
No, not yet.
All right, don't worry. That's in the mail then. Consider it done. I will throw it in the mail myself today. So you have that, so we could read it together from the good book of Nat, as I call it. And that's it. Tell your husband and your daughter I said thank you for letting us honor you for a little bit of time.
No problem.
Well, I really do. I humbly thank you, and I look forward to our next call. Is there anything else that you want to talk about before you hit the road?
No, just thank you for this like chance to kind of talk and learn and kind of try to figure out with all the other, ladies who are in my position who are still trying to wrap their head around 2 babies. It's that's such a comfort. I have several really good friends who are pregnant right now, just one. So it's nice, but to have other people to be like, oh yeah, no, 2. It's a little different, to be able to say, yeah, okay. And have that connection is just, it's one less thing to worry about.
It really is. And I always joke, like, the one first tip that I give everybody is, if you know anybody expecting one, stop talking to them. That's it. They need to be cut out of your life immediately. Because if you start comparing notes, like if you're like, even if you're the same weeks, they're 2 totally different pregnancies, regardless of the fact that you're 2 totally different people, and regardless even if we're both having one. But it is, you already know, it's a totally different ball game. It's not even like we're playing on the same field. We're playing in like on another planet. Some weird alien game while everybody else on earth is having 1 baby, and it's so wonderful. We're like, what are we gonna do? There's a hate crime going on in my belly. It's what's happening.
Exactly.
All right. Well, you, my friend, have the happiest of holidays.
Oh,
and
me
I
too.
cannot already wait for our next chat and to see the updates that are taking place.
Yeah, because we might need to add an addition on my house because I'm getting.
We'll start building it now. That's it. We'll buy giant Lego blocks and we'll just put them together outside. They actually sell those. Do you know they sell giant Lego blocks that you can make room divides? Like if you had like a big living room and you wanted to make it like a bedroom living room, they sell these huge Lego blocks. That's what people do here in Manhattan. We basically create rooms out of Legos.
I will totally need to invest in that just to space so that I can just grow bigger and bigger.
That's what we're
As everybody tells me, that's the other thing to all the ladies out there. The first thing they say when you tell them you're having twins, oh, you're going to get so big.
You're like, thank you.
I just encourage you, you know what? Embrace it. Yes. I am going to get so big.
You really are. So you need a good maternity belt, like a belly support thing.
Mm-hmm.
So the one that we find is the most substantial. It is certainly not the sexiest on the market, but it's from a company called It's You Babe, and it's called the prenatal. Jewel's on, so she'll chime in. But it's either the prenatal cradle or there's another name for it. She'll put the link in, so at the end you could just go to the Facebook and see the live feed on this. But yeah, you really do need to invest in that. I would go to a maternity store and try to get sized for it. I find that they run a tiny bit big. So even let's say you were going to buy it on Amazon, buy it the size you think you need and the size smaller, then try it on at home and maybe return the one that doesn't fit you. So, but I do find that all the moms that come to class, which in New York City, we have real person class, like people show up, and the women that are wearing them, they often will like lift their shirt and they'll be like, Nat, does this look okay? And I'm like, let me see. I really get in there. And I'm like, I'm going to molest you a little bit. Just ignore me. But like, I can feel like how tight it is. And I'm like, that should probably be a little bit snugger on her. So I find it runs a little bit big. So yeah, if I think of anything else, we'll send you a list of other homework things that you may need to do.
Awesome. That'd be much appreciated.
January for class. Yeah. The January class online is January 15th, so put that on your calendar already. And online for 2 hours. It's also Julie's birthday, so we'll doubly celebrate. All right, my love, have the best day. It was a pleasure meeting you.
It was a pleasure meeting you too.
And thank you for sharing your experience with us.
Oh, thank you for letting me share it.
It's our pleasure. All right. See you later, alligators.
Bye.